Go.
Well, this is the Everything Show, episode 317, the finale of the infamous Nerd Trilogy, as it's been so called, subtitled. For all you kids watching in the future, we're well aware of its criticisms and success, and we know about that it sounds like we're talking to you from the future, but we're not. We're here in the present, and we're just very smart. No, I'm joking. Anyway, what's going on, guys? I'm your host, Dick Sack, and I'm here with Daniel Bertazon.
Hi.
Also here with Mr. Johnny.
Oh.
Oh, hello. Hello, everybody.
He's not a Star Wars fan, but he owns Darth Vader. Also here with Mike D.
Hello, what's up?
And finally here with Mr. 212, Droll Kicks Ertz M.
What's up?
What's going on? Alright, so let's kick things off. There's a poll that's been put on one of my Facebook groups. It's best trailer to come out recently. And on bottom spot is Jurassic World with 0 votes. On top of that is Terminator Genesis with 0 votes. On top of that is The Hateful Eight with 1 vote. On top of that is The Fantastic Four with 1 vote.
Oh, that's awful.
On top of that is Ant-Man with 2 votes.
Fantastic Four is awful, man.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
On top of that,
disappointment.
On top of that with, I can't even see the votes, but I think it's 30% is Batman v Superman. And on top of that, with an astounding 70% of votes, is Star Wars. The Force Awakens.
Wow.
So that's just trumped everything. Let's hope this is how the box office results come out.
Did anybody even say anything about Arnold Schwarzenegger's zombie movie, Maggie?
No, that actually looks pretty good. It's a drama film. It's an indie drama film. So it's not like a box office big movie. It's just something that's little. We'll win a few awards at the film festivals.
Right.
I think it looks good. I think you're going to see some nice acting chops from Arnie in this one.
You think so?
Yeah.
What about Poltergeist?
No, that looks like shit.
Really?
Terrible. Most horror looks average, though, let's be honest.
What do you think about the Evil Dead series?
I think that can be just corny fun. Like, I don't think it's going to be anything like The Walking Dead, on that scale.
I mean, I think they'll warrant another season.
Do you think it will be like a huge millions and millions of viewers per week, though, like Walking Dead or Game of Thrones?
I think the biggest drawback is the half-hour episode.
What's it going to be rated? Is it R-rated? Is it PG-13?
It's on Star, so it's rated R, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. It could be pretty cool.
Right.
Well, I mean, Torchwood Miracle Day. Not Miracle Day. What's it called? Was it Miracle Day?
So it's crap.
Yeah, that was on Stars.
Well, I got a question for you, Hayden. Did you see the Daredevil Netflix series?
Yeah, I've got Netflix.
Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I did.
I freaking loved it, dude. I thought it was fantastic.
The action sequences were filmed like action sequences, none of this shaky cam, high frame rate rubbish.
I think this show's going to revolutionize the Netflix Marvel shows because I didn't see anything wrong with this at all.
We've got AKA Jessica Jones coming out later this year, don't we, with David Tennant as the Purple Man.
Right. I thought the Daredevil was the perfect series. I love
definitely made up for the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie, let's be honest.
Yeah, but if they didn't announce Ben Affleck as Batman, then Daredevil wouldn't have rose because that basically drew attention to the character just by that announcement. So I think that it's a highly successful show, one of my favorite shows. Hopefully it gets a second season. Perfect series, perfect.
And he'll be in
10 out of 10.
He'll be in Infinity War.
10 out of 10, perfect.
Yeah, good show.
Just like Bates Motel, I love that too.
Let's put our thumbs up to that.
10 out of 10 for that too.
Well, we only just got Netflix in Australia like 2 weeks ago because we couldn't get Netflix in Australia before. So as soon as we got Netflix, I got it. I think I've watched everything on there though so far because we only get a limited amount of stuff straight away.
Right.
Like I watched the IT Crowd. Has anyone watched the IT Crowd before?
Mm-mm. What's
Pretty
that?
funny show.
Yeah.
It's a comedy series. That's good. I watched Misfits. Have anyone seen Misfits?
No.
British
I'm kind of
chefs.
upset that Bates Motel is ending. 3 episodes left, and then hopefully another season.
Yeah,
Then we got Game of Thrones. I didn't see the second episode of the season.
I did.
I recorded it, so I'm gonna watch it tomorrow.
I don't
but
watch many TV shows, but I have my select few, like Star Wars Rebels, which I'm loving. Have you watched Star Wars Rebels, Joe?
No, but I'm gonna watch it on Netflix.
It's good.
Yeah.
I just finished Clone Wars, actually. I just watched all the Clone Wars. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch Clone Wars also, and I'm happy that Penny Dreadful's coming back season 2. I thought that series was fantastic as well.
Yeah. Do you watch
I'm actually happy with a lot of stuff lately. You know,
TV's on a good streak. Let's just say that much. There's kind of just like 13 movies you get.
But I have a feeling that Walking Dead spinoff is gonna suck. Honestly.
Well, like my problem with The Walking Dead, it's the same thing every season. You just get the guys together, you split up for a bit and go towards the next place that they try to get to, and then they all meet up, and then they split up again and go to the next place, you know?
Yeah, but I may not be interested in this spinoff. It doesn't nothing to it where
I hate prequels. I don't care about prequels.
Yeah.
I don't care what happened before, you know?
Right.
But then again, when you think about it, it is different characters, so we don't know if they're dead now. We don't know what their fate's going to be. You don't know if
they're going
to
to cross over Walking Dead a couple of years or something. They said.
Well, yeah, it can't be. It might not. It might be all right.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Interesting.
But I didn't like Better Call Saul, the Breaking Bad spinoff. Didn't like it.
Wow.
I'm a big Breaking Bad fan, so I didn't. Yeah, I was a bit disappointed in that.
But again, I just can't get over how crappy the Fantastic Four movie looks.
Yeah.
Really bad. Like I'm looking at the VHS one that I have that was unreleased, and saying that might be better than this.
Well, that's a bit extreme.
Yeah.
Roger Corman.
More importantly, why do you own that on video?
Because I had to have it, man. You know?
Hey, interesting fact about Roger Corman, Speak of the Devil. He played a character called Hayden Burke in Silence of the Lambs.
Wow.
Yeah, George Romero was in Silence of the Lambs for a second.
Yeah. So I'm in Silence of the Lambs, in other words. I'm an FDR.
Well, I should have posed this question to you. Of all these summer movies that are coming out, which movie would you like to be in?
What would I like to be
Not
in?
just summer movies, these movies of this year. Meaning
Star Wars?
December. Yeah.
Frickin' Star Wars?
Yeah. Besides that,
Who wouldn't want to be in Star Wars? Come on.
Everybody would think.
Dress me up as an alien, get me an action figure, make me a spin-off movie. I'll fucking do it for free.
Fantastic, yeah.
If I was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'd just be a loitering New Yorker standing there. Don't let the kid get shot by the rhino, Spidey. What are you doing? That was terrible. What about the other guys? Mike, Daniel, John, what would you want to be in a movie that's coming out this year? What movie would you want to be in?
I'd probably... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say real quick, I agree with you, Hayden. Yeah, I'd be, Star Wars. Star Wars! I love it!
I'd pick a movie that we really haven't discussed too much. The Bond film, Spectre, coming out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, like, it's the type, though. What's the question, Joe? Are you saying what character would we want to be an extra in, or what character would we want to, what movie would we want to star in?
What movie do you want to star in besides Star Wars?
Okay. I would... that is a good question. Starring as an acting, hey?
Yeah.
I'd really like to be in something like the new Martin Scorsese film Silence with Liam Neeson and Andrew Garfield. That could be cool. But I'd also really like to be Mad Max in Mad Max Fury Road.
Well, he got signed for 3 more.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing Mad Max. Or, come on, I wouldn't mind being Captain America either.
Right.
What about you, John?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm still Star Wars.
Yeah. No, I thought you said he couldn't say Star Wars. Can we can't say Star Wars, Joe?
I mean, besides Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, well, screw it. No, screw it.
Sorry.
I'm in Star Wars. Screw it.
Oh, yeah. I don't care either, yeah.
I want to play Finn, Poe Dameron, Rey, Kylo Ren. I don't give a shit. Just put me in the movie.
Yeah.
Princess Leia, right?
Yeah.
I will be
I wanna be
BB-8, personal assistant.
I want to be a stormtrooper.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would play an Imperial commander who didn't have one line if I had to.
And play
my
Captain Rex.
He's got a
Captain Rex.
background there. Look at
I
that.
would play Captain Rex.
I like the Flame Trooper Blaster. The Flame Trooper Blaster is pretty badass looking.
Steampunk Joe was just asking us if there's any movie we could be in this year, like star in any of the movies coming out this year. What movie would we star in?
Well, I wouldn't mind being in episode 7. I actually tried to do casting as an extra in episode 7, but I never heard back.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We were saying you'd be in the Avengers, would you, Joe?
I would definitely be in a Marvel movie. Absolutely.
You wouldn't want to be in Star Wars.
I would know.
Marvel, Star Wars, it's the same thing.
Besides Star Wars. Star Wars, yes, but besides Star Wars, I would definitely want to be
Besides Star Wars, yeah, I agree with you. I think Avengers could be awesome. I'd love to be in Captain America Civil War as just like an extra superhero in the background. I'd play like some random superhero who just sides with Iron Man or something.
Right.
Joe could play like the tacked on scene at the end where we see Spider-Man. That's his favorite superhero.
I could be the guy cleaning the glass, basically.
I think Joe would make the perfect Otto Octavius.
Really?
Doc
You
Ock.
think so? I don't know about that,
But Doc Ock now has 12 arms.
well, Doc Ock actually is dead. Well, technically not dead. I mean, he possesses.
Well, in the
fire.
comics, but if we're talking from a
Yeah.
movie standpoint, then it doesn't exist yet.
Well, Chris has got that Dr. Octopus look with the goggles and all that.
Maybe I would want to be in the Rocky spinoff Apollo,
Creed.
where I get knocked
Creed.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Creed.
Now, Steampunk actually kind of looks like Jake Lloyd from the Phantom Menace on that pod race.
Okay.
Well, Chris, in all seriousness, Chris could look like he could fit in, like if Hannah and Chewie go back to Mos Eisley. He looks like one of those characters at the bar there. That,
Actually, yeah. It's funny that you say that because at the convention, several people thought I was a rebel. They thought I was dressed as a rebel.
Yeah, that's cool.
Steampunk.
Well, they could add a character like you into Star Wars Rebels. Imagine an animated version of you. That would just go nicely in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, I'd be a scavenger just like Ray.
Yeah.
You'd be
That
like,
could be cool. Like,
the
have
new
you guys
bounty
seen
hunter.
Drive? Have you guys seen Drive with Ryan Gosling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
I am not.
Imagine like a nighttime retro, like underground drug smuggling pod racing movie with like bounty hunters pod racing and betting on things and like these like getaway pod race drivers and stuff in like the underground of some real scungy old planet in Star Wars. That could be a cool spin-off movie. Just saying.
Steampunk.
Well,
Very
they're
steampunk.
they're coming out with a Star Wars movie every year now. So there's a spin-off Star Wars movie coming out next year.
Yeah, well, see with that,
Rogue One.
they're called Star
They
Wars
actually,
and
they actually showed. They didn't have a trailer ready, but they at the closing ceremonies they showed concept art.
yeah, because it's called Star Wars Anthology Rogue One, isn't it?
Rogue One. Yeah, that's the name of it. The Rogue
Yeah.
One is going to be a live action film. And what they said at the closing ceremonies, because they did a whole big brief on it, is it takes place between episodes 3 and 4, and it focuses on the rebels stealing the plans for the Death Star and how they accomplished it. And from what I understand, it's not going to be a traditional Star Wars film. That's not the way they announced it. They said it'll be like a Star Wars war movie where you have rebels who don't have any force powers, don't have any superpowers, and they're just going on special missions and special ops, like a military Star Wars movie.
So it'll be a lot like Godzilla, basically, that Gareth Edwards has already done.
Well, what do you think about that, Hayden? The new Godzilla, the Japanese Godzilla.
I don't care. I can't read it or listen to it, so I don't care what goes on.
I did see the season 2 trailer, for Rebels, and I'm excited. I just wish they had.
I sent it to you, the trailer.
Yeah, you did, but I saw it at the convention. I just wish I wish they had it on Netflix. They don't have Rebels on Netflix, so I haven't. I've only thing I've been able to
Rebels,
watch.
yeah, I watched season 1 of Rebels.
Okay.
It's good.
The only thing I've seen of Rebels was the pilot, because you could download the pilot for free off of iTunes.
Yeah, but the finale's pretty cool. Of the Rebel.
Yeah, it's got Ahsoka in it. I heard it's got Ahsoka. And I was like, yes, they brought Ahsoka back.
Yeah.
She's now a major player in Star Wars. It's like, it's amazing how, like, overnight, Captain Rex and Ahsoka, they used to be considered minor characters, are now major characters because they're in both TV series.
I want to shift the attention now to Daniel.
Connor's joined us, by the way.
Oh, what's up, Connor?
Hello.
I want to shift the attention to Daniel with Star Trek 3, basically forming from Simon Pegg's script and some of the casting that's going on. What do you think is going to happen, Daniel, with Star Trek 3?
I'm not sure. Last I heard is they're going to get Sophia Boutella, the girl who was in Kinsman, the Secret Service. They're going to get her in there to play some girl. I hear she's going to be a Romulan or something.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm probably going to enjoy it a lot better than Into Darkness.
Obviously, because it's a new story. It's a new story, and it's not.
Yeah, but it is the director.
Into Darkness was just horrible. It was like something like from a Mad TV skit, but it wasn't intentionally.
But it is the director from Fast and Furious, so you don't expect a really intricate Star Trek story in this next one.
So that's the mistake.
I did like the last Fast and Furious.
Trying to turn Star Trek into an action movie is not what Star Trek's about. It's not Star Trek to me.
Wrath of Khan was like my favorite movie of all time, like that, between Star Wars and that.
Yeah, but Wrath of Khan, even though it had a lot of action in it, it still had a lot of cerebral elements to it. And Khan was a very complex character, not a very two-dimensional character. In the Darkness, he was such a two-dimensional character. But in Wrath of Khan, I think what made it successful was the way the Khan was written. You kind of felt sorry for him, and you understood why he had a grudge against Kirk, because he had been stranded on that planet, miserable for 20 years. So you didn't fully agree with him, but you kind of understood where he was coming from. So that's why
I kind of didn't understand where he was coming from, because I remember Space Seed, and that was his first appearance in the original series, where he just basically tried to take apart like Kirk's ship and take it over. And Kirk had every right to sentence him to the damn planet. Of course, he didn't know that was going to happen, where the place that something exploded, the moon, but yeah.
SETI Alpha 5.
Thank you, SETI Alpha 5. SETI Alpha 6 was, what did it explode? SETI Alpha 6?
Something about throwing out of orbit or something?
Orbit of SETI Alpha 5, yeah. But basically, he deserved it, Khan, because of what he tried to do.
Well, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but I said at the same time, you kind of understood where he was coming from his point of view. You didn't agree with it.
Wrath of Khan had very Shakespearean sort of elements to it, and it dealt with like mortality and death and the whole thing about our cast of characters from the original series having to confront their age and their mortality.
Right.
They're growing older, and the whole thing about Kirk with the reading spectacles, and Dr. McCoy telling him, get out of your depression of your midlife crisis and all that, and just all sorts of imagery. I mean, they did a better job than like what happened with Into Darkness, because I mean, you have like a young cast of people, so that kind of took it took the age element out of it, to where like you have like young Chris Pine and young Spock and these characters, and that took a large degree out of what made the Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, like the Wrath of Khan basically was Kirk's birthday, and Bones is like, why are we treating your birthday like a damn funeral? Like, get back your command, get back before you really do grow old.
Yeah. Damn it, Jim. Damn it, Jim, what the hell's the matter? Other people have birthdays. Why are you treating yours like a funeral?
Yeah.
Well, and the guy that played Khan didn't look like Khan.
Ricardo Montalban was a phenomenal actor.
Well, I mean, he didn't look like Khan. He didn't act like Khan.
Oh, the new one.
Yeah, the new one.
No, I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor, but
he was so robotic in delivering his lines. Shall we begin?
I think it would have been it would have been a better concept in Into Darkness if they screwed with the continuity a little bit, and instead of it being Khan that's revived, that was somebody else from the Botany Bay that was revived.
That would have worked.
I would have liked that better. Thank you.
Well, they kind of already did a story arc like that. There was a 3-part episode in season 3, or actually, was it season 4? It was one of the later seasons of Enterprise, there was a 3-part episode with the genetically modified humans that some of them got revived and they tried to start a revolution. That's actually pretty good.
I think those were like new.
What?
Those were new superhumans. They weren't from the Botany Bay. They were like brand new superhumans.
Well, they weren't from the Botany Bay, but they were trying to. They were trying to get. They were created by, or they were created alongside with Khan, and there was references to Khan, and they were the same group of superhumans that fought alongside Khan. So they weren't from the Botany Bay, but they were the same group.
And they use that as an opportunity to explain away why some Klingons have ridges and some don't because of the eugenics, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, what happened was
we did that on Deep Space Nine episode.
The Klingons were trying to create a weapon, and they used human DNA, and when they got infected with their own weapon, a lot of them died. The ones that survived genetically mutated to become human, or human-looking.
Right. Exactly. So, I am looking forward to Star Trek 3. I think it's going to be, I think it's actually going to be a success.
And I am not looking forward to Star Trek.
Which is going to prompt another sequel rather than a TV series. I mean, that's the way you got to look at it. I mean, if it's a success, they're not going to go back to TV. And if it's a failure, it's either going to be on hold for 10 years or 15 years, or they're going to go with a TV series. I would opt for a TV series, but
I think in the long run, it actually worked against like the Star Trek franchise. To have those Abrams films, because Star Trek, in my opinion, belongs on television. And I think although the first film was a big hit, I think it was a hit for the wrong reasons, ultimately for the franchise, because they tried to Star Wars-ize that franchise. And like Chris said, Star Trek's not Star Wars. It's not meant to be this big, like, sort of like, look at the pretty explosions type thing.
Well,
it's supposed to be about
Lucasfilm did the special effects for the Star Trek films.
Well, I kind of like the Star Warsification of Star Trek. This is what I've always been waiting for ever since I was a kid. So,
well, but it loses its message. Star Wars is always about social issues and a message that trumps all of the grandiose effects that are going on. And it just seemed like in that film, I mean, what was really the social message in the 2009 Abrams film? I mean, it was just it seemed like it was. I mean, I was entertained when I saw it, but it was like a really warped version of what Star Trek really is.
Yeah, but it's a new Star Trek for a new generation. Maybe the new generation don't give a crap about what Roddenberry was trying to sell. They just want to have fun.
Maybe, but I think it cheapens Star Trek, and it has the potential to destroy the franchise, because if they do another couple of Abrams films like Star Trek 3 and 4, and it starts to peter out, then they'll just look at it as a failed action franchise, and it'll just fail on both fronts.
Well, the thing, to answer what Daniel said about for a new generation, the thing is Star Trek has a brand, and its brand has never been what they made it in the Abrams films. So they need to stick with a particular formula to maintain that brand. And it's worked throughout generations. So, I mean, I don't know why they needed to change it up all of a sudden. I'm for expanding upon like some of the stuff that Roddenberry had initially started as far as like his outlook for what he wanted the show to be. I think that they do need to make it a little darker and make it like a little more cynical, a universe within the Star Trek universe. Because, I mean, you're going to have problems when you have people being forced to agree with this particular mindset of like the way that the world is with the Federation and everyone, this stuff like that. No, it's all like my problem with Star Trek: The Next Generation was it seemed too like sterile. It was so like.
Why can't they have like a galaxy where there's like the opposite of the Federation, where there's all evil?
They had a mirror universe.
Yeah, but like Mike was saying, TNG was just too sterile. I mean. I was talking to James yesterday, and we were talking about TNG, and we were talking about how we can't stand Picard, and I was like, I just didn't like Picard. He was just too diplomatic. He was just too damn diplomatic, He just wanted to go in there and talk and talk and talk. Like for instance, the time when he went against Gul Macet, he kind of like punched a hole through his shield
and then he hailed him and said, sir, why are you firing on us? And I'm like, I'll get the son of whatever. I just didn't like him. You know, if that was Cisco would have destroyed that bastard. You know,
well, the problem is too, not just from a cerebral versus action point of view. The problem with the new Star Trek films is very weak character development. Like Uhura hardly ever gets any screen time. Sulu gets only a tiny bit. It's mostly just Spock and Kirk, and that's a criticism that people who even like the films have given it. They're saying like the other characters don't really get that much screen time.
It all became about Spock more than Kirk, I thought.
Well, yeah, but they're almost like backdrops and props, you know, where the original Star Trek movies, they actually, you know, Uhura was a significant character, and so was Sulu. And I hate casting of Scotty. It just, every time I see Scotty, I think Shaun of the Dead. I just doesn't.
You don't like Simon? He's okay.
Well, Chris, what was it that you branded the J.J. Abrams Star Trek film, the first one? It was like Young Spock in Love meets Shaun of the Dead.
Young Spock in Love meets Shaun of the Dead ×2.
Oh.
Because
it was basically the Spock show. I mean, once, like, I guess maybe Abrams likes Spock more than Kirk. I don't know.
I don't know. He apparently wasn't a fan when he wrote the script, and he apparently didn't really have any original ideas because he just did a watered-down version of Wrath of Khan.
That's what I don't understand. If they changed the timeline, why the hell did you have to have the same crap or try to make a copy of something? Same thing like I'm worried about Star Trek 3. Please don't do, like, I know you can't do Search for Spock because he's alive and Kirk's alive, but now what are you going to do? The Klingons, like the third Star Trek was? I mean, why not have like the Romulans or like something, you know, I don't know. Why can't we have a mirror movie?
Yeah, you know, we can do it. We can have that.
I mean, that would be friggin' fantastic to do something like that.
You know what I would like to have, like for a mirror movie? Maybe like we could have like the Enterprise versus like the ISS Enterprise D. We can just have the ISS and Enterprise D just fly out of a wormhole and then start causing shit. I would love to see that. We never saw the ISS.
Or even like a war, a mirror war, where just something stays open, and then the mirror universe tries to take over our universe because something happens with that universe where it's going to collapse or something.
Well, in Deep Space Nine, they did find a stable way to transport to the mirror universe and back by recalibrating transporters. But there was only a couple episodes of Deep Space Nine that took place in the mirror universe.
Right, they did it the most actually, and that's what I liked about Deep Space Nine.
Actually, slightly more than a couple. Actually, there was one per season. Sorry, there was like 7 mirror universe episodes of Deep Space Nine.
They actually had that on the Enterprise too. They did it. Mirror.
Yeah, we would have gotten more if it got a season 5.
All right.
Yeah, actually, the Mirror Part 1 and 2 of Enterprise, I actually liked that. I thought that was very entertaining 2-part episode.
Could they not just do like a new like concept for Star Trek in a movie and then continue it like as a series and just have the movie kick off like a series? Because I mean, I know one of the problems Joe had with like Enterprise was like all this prequel type stuff. Like looking back, it's like let's look forward. Like with a new.
Yeah, that was my biggest. That's what upset me is because you're so used to the most advanced technology. Now you got this rope that shoots out of the ship to like a grappling rope, and it's like, what the hell is that? You know, and they didn't even have like phasers, and the quarters were closed in, and it's like now you're trying to make Archer like Kirk. You're trying to make Archer be the first one to encounter the Romulans. You're trying to make Archer be the first one to encounter the Borg. And I'm like, why are you trying so hard to make Archer the ultimate captain? Well, now Archer forms the fucking Federation, which is bullshit too. I mean, I was like, oh, here we go.
Well, I liked Enterprise actually for what it was. I wouldn't take a crap all over it. I know like the big reason that it failed was it was on a network that, like, if you look at the other shows that they were putting out at the time, it was widely differing demographics of people that they were catering to.
But my thing is, why do you have a Vulcan on board? I mean, I know we like that character, but I mean, you're trying to copy the Kirk Spock thing, but a twist, like with a female version of Spock. You know, it's like
I thought it was interesting.
I mean, just do something different. You know.
Well, Hollywood's always afraid to do something different. They come up with like John Carter of Mars and it bombs.
About a steampunk Star Trek.
Wonder why the Rocketeer never took off. Remember Rocketeer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw it.
I
I've
like
never
that
seen a
movie.
trailer for it, but I never saw the movie.
Well, we've got that.
It's on Netflix. I could watch it for free. I might watch it.
That's called
Rocketeer is
Iron
more-
Man.
Well, Rocketeer is more diesel punk than it is steampunk.
Diesel Punk, I see.
Post-human.
All right.
The
Isn't like the Final Fantasy video game series like Steampunk? I don't know.
I haven't played Final Fantasy, so I can't really say.
Oh. All right.
I've seen people play it, and from what I could tell, it looked like an anime to me. But
Daniel, if it was up to you, would you just do a TV series following 3?
Yeah, I would have like what I would do is I would have like the new Enterprise go into the original universe. Maybe something happens to the Earth. Maybe it gets destroyed by the Romulans. And then they would go into the original universe somehow, and then they would you just have a new series after 3.
Right.
Because the contract is up after number 3, so nothing is preventing them from doing it.
Right.
So I think so. So I just yeah. So I really can't wait to see Cisco again. I like to see Cisco because, like I said, Cisco was like the more action-oriented captain. He wouldn't go in there and talk and talk and talk. He would actually go in there and kick some ass.
Well, I don't like the way he died. At the end.
Well, he didn't really die.
He technically didn't die. He became non-linear.
Yeah, he's
Right.
a prophet.
But I guess
Now,
in a
he's a
sense,
prophet.
dying is becoming non-linear. When you're dead, you're non-linear.
I know, like his girlfriend at the time or whatever, he was gonna come back. She was pregnant, right?
Yeah,
The baby.
he's in the wormhole.
Well, I mean, there was just so much with the ending of Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, and Voyager. There was so much movie potential to do a crossover with 7 and 9. She was a very popular character. They could have brought in Deep Space Nine characters. They could have brought in some Next Generation characters and mixed it up and had a really interesting another television series or another couple of movies. But they didn't do that. They didn't take the risk. They were like, oh, let's just default back to Kirk.
Right.
Let's rehash the same old crap and just do it a more dumbed down action version. And I just, not for me. I can't.
So Joe, sorry, steampunk, but Joe, I was watching our that Trek cast we did. Well, it wasn't really a Trek cast. We were just talking, and back in 2013. Is that whole mirror universe war thing still in the cards for a TV series? Do you think?
I really don't know what they would do with a TV series. I think that if they did do a Star Trek TV series, they would probably wait to season 2 or 3 before they introduce the mirror universe again for the new generation. So I think they would hide that to the 2nd or 3rd season.
Are you sure? I mean, you keep on saying it's called the new generation. Like, where do you hear this stuff from?
Well, no, I mean, right now, there is no set thing for another Star Trek series, but if it were to continue, I'm sure it would be connected with Voyager, like shortly after or amount of time Voyager's been off the air. So, I mean...
Yeah, Voyager's loved by a lot of Star Trek fans. So
I liked it a lot.
If they did a Voyager movie, that would be cool.
I was upset that it wasn't a Voyager movie because I thought they should have did one.
Well, Admiral Janeway did have a cameo.
Yeah, I know in Star Trek movie, yeah. And so did the Doctor guy.
You know the thing. You know what Rick Berman said. When people ask him why didn't you make Enterprise post Voyager, what he always says is the reason why he never did that was because it just becomes meaningless after Voyager. They're so powerful that nothing can challenge them.
I don't agree with that.
I just agree with that. The Borg kept adapting, and there could be a way that the Borg could come back even more powerful, especially when you involve time travel. And there was a species...
8472.
8472, there you go. I couldn't remember the numbers. I'm
Yeah,
tired. They were badass, and they adapted as well, and they were they had no technology. They were entirely organic. And so that was an interesting concept. So I disagree with that. I think there was a lot you could do in a post-Voyager series.
I agree.
That would be great.
And they even had the one episode where they said that in the future there's a time directive rather than the prime directive, where they travel through time in a
True. There was a
time
brief
ship.
There was a brief cameo of the Enterprise J, which was a time ship.
Right. So.
I love
And
that.
Captain Picard encountered somebody from the 27th century in Next Generation time. So.
No, he did, and he was teleported or transported for a brief time on the Enterprise J. But you didn't really get a good look at what the Enterprise J looked like. All you saw was like one hallway.
Right. So.
But it's an interesting concept, and they could have done a Star Trek series that takes place in the future with time ships.
They could have had a Riker series. They could have Worf series.
Well, yeah, it wanted the deleted scenes. It wanted the deleted scenes on the extras of the DVD for Nemesis. You hear Riker, he gets promoted to captain, and he's leaving the Enterprise E for the last time, and he becomes the captain of the USS Titan.
Right.
I love Star Trek Nemesis. I don't understand why it failed. I remember going to see Star Trek Nemesis with my friends. I loved it.
Star Trek Nemesis had some flaws, don't get me wrong, but it still was a good movie. It was still Star Trek to me.
It was post-Voyager. It was great.
It was post-Voyager because Janeway got promoted to Admiral. And I know that it was controversial with some fans. People were like, "Why didn't Picard get promoted to Admiral?"
Right. All right, we gotta wrap this up, guys, because we have 30 seconds left. So I want to thank Nerd Hayden for briefly being in this one.
Are you going to be on later?
What?
Steampunk, are you going to be on later?
Okay.
I got 13 minutes.
All right.
After that, I'd have to
All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye for now.
All right.